To be or not to be is the seesaw game that has been on since 2012, when the country stood in opposition to the removal of subsidy from premium motor spirit, popularly called petrol. The implications became grave and obviously pronounced at the dawn of this administration. The scarcity of petroleum products was largely hinged on the halting of importation by major marketers who were skeptical that President Buhari would pay back the subsidy, since they were being owed more than $500 million in subsidy as of the point of discussion. All that got resolved, at least to the extent that the parties involved were having meaningful discussion with the Minister of State for Petroleum, who was appointed early in August 2015 as GMD and Junior Minister later in October. From then till date, he's been battling from trying to reform the industry in terms of management and policy, to fixing moribund infrastructure like the pipelines and the refineries, and to the almost now a daily routine of explaining how the lingering fuel scarcity will disappear. He got his fingers burnt severally in attempts to find solution, making all sorts of pronouncements, yet the situation did not abate completely.
I do apologize if a comment that I made jocularly with my friends in the press about being a magician offended some Nigerians. It wasn't meant to be.
Some respite started trickling in following review of allocation to major marketers, which initially favored more imports to the NNPC. Critical to all of this was the difficulty in assessing foreign exchange that either was scarce or was sold at twice the government price of 199 naira to $1. Subtly, in the several complaints and lamentation by Nigerians who now have as part of their itinerary the long wait at fuel station, said it was best to just deregulate the sector. Price changes notwithstanding, since the product is scarcely seen and is hardly sold at control price of 86.50.
Removing subsidy is not a difficult thing. Once the government stops fixing prices and allow investors to import fuel and sell to Nigeria, they can regulate the quality, but they should not regulate the price.
Today, it seemed like all the speculations, all the waiting, all the fears have finally been laid to rest. Anyone, and indeed anyone, can now source for money, go abroad and import petrol, but should not sell above 145 naira per litre. Though the government did not use the word deregulation, it's only granted that now that the market has been freed, it has automatically been deregulated. In the days ahead, it will become clear how it will all sit well with the polity and, of course, for the petroleum downstream sector. Stay tuned. Olu Phillips, Channels Television News.
Following a detailed presentation by the Honorable Minister of State for Petroleum Resources myself, it has now become obvious that the only option and course of action now open to the government is to take the following decisions. One, in order to increase and stabilize the supply of the product, any Nigerian entity is now free to import the product subject to existing quality specifications and other guidelines which will be issued by regulatory agencies. Two, all oil marketers will be allowed to import PMS on the basis of forex procured from secondary sources, and accordingly, PPRA templates will reflect this in the pricing of the product. Pursuant to this, PPRA has informed me that it will be announcing a new price band effective today, and that the new price for PMS will not be above 145 naira per litre. We expect that this new policy will lead to improved supply and competition, and eventually drive down pump prices, as we have experienced with diesel. In addition, this will also lead to increased product availability and encourage investments in refineries and other parts of the downstream sector. It will also prevent diversion of petroleum products and set a stable environment for the downstream sector in Nigeria. Now, we share the pains of Nigerians. Indeed, we do. But as we have constantly said, the inherited difficulties of the past and the challenges of the current times imply that we must take difficult decisions on this sort of critical national issues. Along with this decision, the federal government has in the 2016 budget made an unprecedented social protection provision to cushion the current challenges. We believe that in the long term, improved supply and competition will drive down these prices to a point where they are manageable.